So after being in the styling industry for over a decade, I noticed that most women have some of the same problems. Whether they don't love their wardrobe because they're just tired of it, or they're not really sure how to dress their body shape, or my favorite, they hate shopping. Now today, I want to talk to those of you who actually hate shopping and give you some tips on what it looks like to shop productively online. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that we have in-person and online shopping. In-person shopping can be a lot. Going into the store, driving to a store, using gas, wasting time, going to look for pieces that you may or may not find can be a hassle. Shopping online, though, is a completely different experience. Mostly you're shopping from sites that you may or may not have shopped on before. You're not really sure how the pieces are gonna fit. You don't get an opportunity to touch and feel the items before you actually purchase them. And then you're not even sure if you're purchasing the right size. So today in this video, I wanna give you a few tips that will help you to productively shop online with ease. And these tips you can start doing right now. Most of you probably already do some of them, but a lot of you are missing the mark when it comes to shopping online, and that's why you find yourself making so many returns. So if you're looking forward to getting some tips on how to shop online with ease, stay tuned. Hey boss ladies, it's your favorite style savant Kristen, and I'm super excited as always to be back with another video. So I was inspired to do this video because I work with women all the time, and majority of the time I'm shopping for them virtually. So they have to trust me when I'm choosing the websites, when I'm choosing the sizes, and when I'm making my selections. Although I may or may not have tried the store or the item before, I know exactly what to look for to make sure that I'm making the right choice, but also making sure that they understand that shopping online is a process and that every brand sizing is completely different. But when you do these three things, this is going to help you really make sure that you are being productive when shopping online and making the right choices. So real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of SCB Luxury Styling, where I help aspiring, sophisticated women align their inner beauty with their outer appearance. I do that through capsule wardrobing, body shaping, and also confidence building. I work with women of all shapes and sizes, petite, tall, average, plus size, extra small, all the things, because nobody is the same and nobody is perfect. So it's important to understand that your body is going to change over time with age, with stress, with life, with everything that we go through. Our bodies are going to change. So it's just a matter of making sure that we stay up to date on our sizes so that we are making sure that we are dressing our body in a way that flatters it the most. So I'm excited for this video because I've been meaning to talk about this topic for a very long time. If you're familiar with SCB Luxury Styling, we've been around for years, but back in 2020 when the pandemic hit, I decided to offer virtual styling. Now, it was a scary step that I took in my business because a lot of women, probably similar to you, were afraid to shop online. They didn't understand the process. They didn't understand how things were gonna fit. They just didn't get it. So with the help of a stylist, I was able to truly guide them and really hold their hand throughout the entire process. And that's what I'm gonna do with you today. So I'm excited to hop right in and give you 3 tips that are gonna help you to shop better online. Okay, so first things first. When shopping on a website, you want to make sure after you find the item that you love, that you're interested in purchasing, you want to make sure you look at the item description. A good item description is going to have the fabrication, how much of each fabric is in the item. It's going to have where the item was made. It's also going to have the size and height of the model that's wearing the item. Now, this is key because a lot of us go on websites looking at clothes, love loving everything they see, but we can't actually relate to the model. Y'all, I'm 5'4", and the model on this website here is probably about 5'10". So we're nowhere near the same height. So the way that the items look on her are gonna look a little bit different on me. So it's important that you pay attention to that. Also wanna pay attention to the length and the width of the item. So say you're looking at a pair of pants and you're 5'4", and your inseam just happens to be about 29 inches of an inseam. Now, these pants are about 33.5 inches of an inseam. Just say that you did not look at the item description and you go ahead and purchase these pants and you get them expecting them to look the same way that they looked on you as they did on the model. You would probably be upset because these pants are so long. Now, with you knowing the length of the pant, you can easily get them tailored. You can easily get them altered, or depending on your proportions, they may actually work perfectly fine. But it's important to understand that when you're purchasing items online, to look at the description and make sure that you are familiar with the height of the model that's wearing the item, the size of the model that's wearing the item, and the length and the width of the item that you plan on purchasing. I feel like a lot of women make this same mistake, and it's frustrating to me because all the information is there. If you're shopping on the website that provides that information, all of the information is there. We just don't look at it. So when we purchase these items and they're the wrong size or the wrong length and we're disappointed, we just completely give up and we don't want to try again. And I really want to provide this information to you all today so that it can enhance your shopping experience. I don't want you to feel like you're too tall or you're too short or you're too big or you're too small because certain items don't fit you properly. But all you had to do was look at what the item was made of, look at how long the item was, and look at the sizes that were available. Now moving on to number 2, because that brings me to the size chart. Now the size chart is something that you always want to check on every single website that you are shopping on. As I mentioned before, every brand is cut differently, meaning that every brand will fit you differently depending on what it's made out of, where it's made, how it's made, and all the things. When you are shopping online, first thing that you want to pull up is the size chart. Now, I want to tell you that it's important for you to know your actual size before you try to shop online and look at other size charts. If you're not familiar with your measurements, how can you shop on a website and look at the measurements that they offer? You won't know. You won't know what size to purchase. So first, before taking step 2, make sure you take your measurements. And you can do that with the Body Shape Bible. So if you're not familiar with my signature ebook, the Body Shape Bible, I'm walking you through what it looks like to take your measurements in 3 easy steps, what body shapes actually exist in the world of SCB, and what styles are going to flatter your shape best now that you know your body shape. Now, if you don't have a copy of the Body Shape Bible, make sure you click the link in the description box and purchase your copy, and that way you'll be able to determine your body shape. I also talk about how to use color and prints to repel or attract the eye. So it's a few other things in that ebook that's really going to be helpful to you. So make sure you grab your copy. Now that you have your copy of the Body Shape Bible, you want to take your measurements and you want to determine your body shape. With your measurements, you'll be able to look at the size charts on whatever website you're shopping on and choose the best size that works for you. You're going to come across some websites where your waist measurement may not align with the hip measurement, or the hip measurement may not align with the bust measurement. So what I always like to say is to go for the larger size and then just tailor it down to fit you perfectly. So for example, I am a perfect pair. So my measurements are usually a 34 in the bust. I'm typically a 28 in the waist. And then my hips are about a 38 to a 40. So sometimes with some of the websites that I'm shopping on, it says that I could be a size 8 in the hips, a size 6 in the waist, and a size 4 at the top, which can be very frustrating. It could be all different sizes at once. What I typically like to go for is a size 6, which usually fits me. But depending on the fabrication of the item, which is what you'll see in the description, then I may size up to a size 8. So if the item doesn't have any stretch, if it is super stiff and it just doesn't have any give, then 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna go for the larger size. Now, that means that they'll fit in my hips and it may not actually fit in my waist, but that's okay because I can always get the item tailored down to fit me perfectly, which is something that I encourage you to always do. Now, tailoring can sometimes be a hassle for most people because you have to go out of your way, but it does save you so much time when you're able to tailor something to fit you perfectly, and also so much stress. It's hard when you're between sizes. At times I'm between a size 4 and a 6, and sometimes I'm between a size 6 and an 8. So it can be frustrating trying to decide which size to go for which brand. But when I'm familiar with the fabrication and what the item is made out of, like I said, I'll always gravitate toward the larger size and just get it tailored down to fit me, because I would rather something be a little bit too large than too small on my body. So one more thing I want to say that is important for you to look for when you're shopping online are the reviews. Now, depending on when the item was released, or depending on if the brand is fairly new, you may not see a ton of reviews for the item. Now, I won't say that that's a red flag. Sometimes it can be, but sometimes you never really know if the item is new or if people just haven't purchased it yet. That doesn't mean that it's a bad item. So I will say, when it comes to shopping online, you have to be open to the process, especially if you have not tried this brand before, or if you have not tried a style or a certain fabrication before. You can't expect everything to fit you perfectly. So be open to the process and be open to trying some new things and seeing what works for you. If an item has been around for quite some time and there are quite a few different reviews, take a look and see what everybody else is saying about that item. Whether they feel like it runs large, whether they feel like it runs small, whether they feel like it's not a good item at all. It's so important to check out what everyone else is saying. Now, I will say sometimes the reviews can be a bit biased. Sometimes people really are diehard fans of certain brands and they don't want to shop anywhere else. It's important for you to take the reviews as a grain of salt, but still pay attention to what people are saying. Now, a good website will let you know if an item runs too large or if an item runs too big. The website that you see here is definitely going to let you know if you need to size up or if you need to size down, or if it's true to size and you don't need to do anything at all but get your actual size. But it is also great to look at the reviews again and just see what everybody else is saying about the item, especially if you're not familiar with the website and if it's your first time shopping the brand. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a bonus because I feel like this is important to mention because many of us may not look for this when we're shopping online. Check out the return policy, y'all. The return policy. So before you purchase an item, especially from a website that you have never shopped before, you want to make sure that you're familiar with the return policy. You don't want to be in a situation where you're purchasing an item or a style or a fabrication for the first time around and you're not really sure if it's going to be a good fit for you and you can't return the item. That would be the most stressful thing in the world. But most websites will let you know if something is final sale or returnable for store credit. You just have to read and make sure that you look at that first before making a purchase. So this website here, this brand is Lafleur, is going to let you know whether something is final sale, which is going to be in bold red text on top of the item, or it's going to let you know if something is going to be returnable for store credit, which is normally in gray writing. So returnable for store credit means that the item is in fact returnable, but you would just receive store credit to shop that brand only. You would not receive a full refund. And of course, we all know final sale is final sale. So you will not be able to return it or get your money back in any way. But websites like Lafleur give you an alternative. So when you are purchasing final sale items, maybe you want to take a risk, maybe you just really love an item and you don't want to pass it up and it ends up not fitting you, you can always resell it on a platform called Second Act. So Second Act is basically an online platform where you can resell Lafleur items, whether worn or unworn, but you can resell them to other people who maybe want to purchase Lafleur. It's kind of like Poshmark for Lafleur if you're familiar with Poshmark. So I think that's such a cool alternative for people who are shopping final sale items and end up not loving the item, or the item just ends up not working out for them. So that's all I got for you all today. I'm so happy that I was able to walk you through all of these easy tips and just really help to make your online styling experience that much better. I really want to make sure that I help you to decrease the amount of returns and increase the amount of pieces that you're actually keeping and loving and wearing in your wardrobe. So thank you so much again for watching. Again, my name is Kristen Johnson, the CEO and founder of SCB Luxury Styling, and I will see you in the next video.